After you have made your first save, let's continue with developing this design. All right, we are now on we've just made a rectangular marquee, and at this point, since we really don't, we have our original one preserved here, I'm going to go to Select, Inverse, so everything other than the rectangle is selected. I'm going to hit Delete. So I deleted everything, and what's remaining is the image filling up the rectangle. Command D deselects. Now to bring it up to full opacity, I hit the opacity slider, bring it up, and there is our first image. And this is to show you the basic technique in order to fill up all of these other boxes. And just to show you how to do another one and to fill up a box, let's turn on the dancer main, and I'll enable that. Now I'm going to hold the Option with my Move tool selected, and I copied it again. Now I'm going to hide the original one. I'm going to double click this one, and let's say I want to put it on the lower left, so I'm going to call it left. So I'm just going to do it as left. Now, like before, I wanted to make its opacity lower, so I'll be able to see through like that. I'm going to bring it down here. Now, depending on your subject, you need not have every block totally recognizable. The idea is to try to zoom in and look at the different textures and patterns and colors that you can put in each of these areas that would work well in your design. So with that in mind, let me take my dancer on the left, and Command T will allow me to transform it. I'm going to hold my finger on the Shift and the Option and make it bigger. As you can see, I want to just fill up this block right here. Okay, so just to give you an idea, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Shift Option, make it larger, like that. And then I hit Return to allows for the transformation. Now, like I did before, I'm going to take my marquee, rectangular marquee, and draw a box in this area here. And then for this, because of the nature of this, the size of this thing, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it on its own layer. Command J does that. So it's layer 1, and I'm going to type in, I'm going to call this left A. So this is going to be that good one. Now the reason why I did that is because I don't want to bother with having to find pieces of my original on this one. I don't want to try to find pieces. It takes too long to try to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do, since I have my good left A there, I'm going to take left, the original one, and bring it to the trash can. So I have now my left A is fitting in there, and I'll increase my opacity to 100%. So at this point, play it safe and make a save. Next thing we're going to do is use our main document. I'll show her again, and I'll use my move tool to bring her up here. I'm not going to finish all of the photos here, but I want to show you now the next thing in which you silhouette your subject, and in other words, bring it out from its background, and then you place it in your design along with the name of your subject. So I'm going to, so I don't get confused, I'm going to hide my center up, that one. I'm now on my dancer main, and like before, I play it safe by dragging this to the new layer button or cloning it with the option key. And now I have dancer main copy, and this is going to be my silhouette. So I'm going to double click here and call this silhouette and hit return. I'm going to hide my main one because I don't want to do anything to destroy that. So here I'm on my silhouette. So now the task is, how are you going to select your subject and separate it from its background? Now in this case, because of the background is fairly uniform, it might be easy. I will try first with the magic wand, and I'm going to click on the background. Now you notice that it does select some of it. Now let's try to see if I can get everything but her. So I go to select, similar, and did I get, it's actually pretty good because she is around her. Now I'm going to go close up so you can see what's next. All right, so I have selected all of this, and what we really want to do is invert the selection and see if it just gives us her. So I'm going to select inverse. Now as you can see, it's a pretty good selection of her. It actually got some of the hair, and it got her arms and her feet. This part here has to be eliminated from the selection. So the next step is to use the quick mask tool, and that is down here. So I'm clicking on that, and now you can see that the quick mask is showing you the red is the mask area, and the figure, the dancer, is the selection. So what we need to do is paint the mask area so we cover up all this gray and we leave only her as the selection. So incidentally, when we're working with the quick mask, if you want to change its color or its opacity, you click on his, you double click this, it brings it up and says the quick mask options. The color indicates the masked areas, is that's what we want. The color in this case works well because the red is a good contrasting color to the color in the image. So I'm going to click OK, just want to show you those controls. Next thing, I'm going to click it again, and now this is an important thing to remember whenever you're dealing with a mask, quick mask or any mask. I'm going to use the paintbrush tool. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to choose a hard brush. And the size of the brush I'm not worried about. I'm just going to come out here. Now the most important thing when you do this is to know that your black, if you're painting black, you're painting the mask. If you toggle back and forth and bring the white in the front, you're painting the selection. Now the keystroke to do that is X. It toggles, notice over here, it toggles the foreground and background colors. So right now I want to paint the mask. Now my mouse, my brush is really small. So I want to increase the size of the brush. Use the right bracket key and you'll notice it gets bigger. The left bracket key makes it smaller. Now watch. Now I'm going to do that. So far that's pretty good. However, somehow it's not 100%. I look up in my control panel and I notice that the opacity was turned down. I'm going up here, slide this up, the flow 100%, smoothing I don't want, and I'll explain that in a moment. I'm going to go down to 0. Smoothing gives you, it's almost like a delay. When you press your mouse down, you will pull and you'll make your stroke, but there seems to be something that lags a second behind as you're doing it. We don't worry about smoothing right now. So watch. I'm just going to paint over here, over this. Now I'm going to go smaller with my brush. I'm showing you this because you're going to ultimately have to make a selection to get what you really want. So that's here, like that. Now I'm going all around her this way. And there you have it. Now I'm not going to go close up. If I wanted to, I could make my brush smaller and go really close up and do the hairs, but at this point I'm going to get the job done. Now I'm going to go out Command minus, and you notice that this layer covers the whole document. So I'm going to make my brush really big and go like this here, and whoops, I just did an undo because I accidentally touched her right hand. So let's continue now. I'm going to go here and I'll paint this whole thing and do whatever you want in order to fill this like that. Now another way to do it, watch. I'm going to go here and up like this and over like this and here. Now if I use a paint bucket, I'll find my paint bucket somewhere. I think this is it right there. And let's see. Oh, it won't let me do the paint bucket. I was going to say I could just fill right in here, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to go back to my paintbrush and I'm going to go like this, and I'll make my brush even bigger with the right bracket, and I'll fill in all of this like so. This is just a way to show you how to use the quick mask so I can ultimately get my silhouette. Now once you have done this, you click on the quick mask and you revert to edit in standard mode, and you'll see that right now we have the selection that we want. I'm going to the move tool now, and what I like you to do, instead of inverting it and deleting it, I'm just going, actually I could do that because it saves another step. So right now I have a silhouette layer, I have her selected, I'm going to go select inverse, and I'm going to hit delete. So now I do Command D and I have my layer entitled silhouette, and it has her without a background. Now I'm going to take my move tool, and let's see, as a design element, you work with this however you want. I'm going to do Command T. It gives me the transform dialog box. I'm going to make her bigger like that, and then maybe I'll tilt her like this more, and I'll bring her up here like so, and then hit return. So that shows you how to bring the silhouette into the design. Now I'm going to show my center up. Now my silhouette, it would be nice if the silhouette goes over the center. So I'll bring the silhouette on top of center up, like so. I'll bring the silhouette over here, that way. Now I'll show my left one's already shown. So far that shows you how to work with your main photo or photos and create your design in all these visual imagery areas that say photo. So at this point, make sure you go File and Save. And for now, after you've saved it, we'll stop this tutorial and we'll go on to the next one for the lesson number 3.